Hey, 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 and a hey, hey, ho. Hey, this is your weekly Ergo AMA coming at you live from different places on Earth. And I am your host, Dan Friedman, the Zengate CEO, as it says right there. I don't know. I used to be the advisor to the Ergo Foundation. Now I changed to Zengate CEO.
Oh, wow. So you are wearing the Zengate hat right now. So literally
I
and
am. Well, I
figuratively.
always wear the Zengate hat, but yeah, I guess it rubbed off. It's okay. It's all right. I am that too. And so with me, I have who are you?
I'm QX Sigmanaut today, and it looks like my name is a little off center, right?
Yeah,
Andy's got to move it. Andy,
decentralized.
Andy,
It's
can you
been
move? Oh, that's a great point, Dan. That's a
yeah,
fantastic
yeah,
idea.
yeah. Your name has been decentralized. So it's okay. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. Like,
got
yeah,
fantastic. Totally
yeah.
decentralized now.
I
Hi,
didn't know
Dan.
you
What's
were
new?
such.
What's
I
new
didn't
with
know you were
you?
such a righty.
What's new for you in Zengate, Palmyra? How's your whiskey barrels doing? Any updates on that kind of stuff?
Oh well, many things have happened. I mean, well, I guess on the Ergo side. Well, let's talk about the Ergo side first. So we got the Ergo hack, which I always love it.
Ergo hack. That was
Yeah,
tough. That was a tough week for me. Wow.
yeah. That's cool. And I'm still working on bringing in some interested parties that accept the expressed interest. The party, yeah, parties that expressed interest in sponsoring more Ergo hack challenges. So I
Oh,
think
that'd be
it'll be really good
amazing.
for the ecosystem. Yeah. That's it's
This
very
time we got up around, I want to say maybe over 30,000 US dollars worth. We had about 18,000 from the Ergo Foundation for the initial hack, and the 18,000 ergs or SIG. And then there were about 8,000 ergs raised by the community. There was a large donor, MX, I believe, at the end of that raffle too, to do that. And then also, I believe there's a Rosen prize as well in there. So I think we're upwards of 30K or so, Dan, for the Ergo
wow.
Hack prize. And the way it's going to roll out is the EF, have their judges, so they'll do the initial judging on that $18,000 prize pot plus Rosen. And then the SIGs are going to, the funds from the raffle have already been stuck in the SIGs multi-SIG treasury. And we are going to make a Padilla DAO now that Padilla is able to create beta DAOs. So anybody can go on and create a beta DAO. So we're going to create a beta DAO and distribute the beta tokens for that DAO. We haven't figured it out yet. We just started discussing it this morning. The options that I brought forth are the people that are going to vote on that $6,000 ergs distribution. Should that be just the people that donated to the auction, or should that be those people and Sigmanauts, or should that be those people, Sigmanauts, and we open it to the wider Twitter community, to people who want to join the DAO and vote on that kind of thing? So we're still discussing on what we should do to do that. The language in the auction says the Sigmanauts would vote on it, but we'll see. That could be interpreted as the Sigmanauts vote on a way to distribute it, kind of thing, which could be any of those three options. So interesting to see. But the main goal here is to get people using Padilla and get experience with it and how DAOs function, to get them off those Discord DAOs or those Telegram thumbs up DAOs where things don't necessarily need to be enforced after a result is chosen. But that's the end goal. So expect to see that. Expect to see those. There was already a Padilla vote by Glasgow that was to reward all participants with 100 ergs. So that takes about 1,500 ergs off of that, about 7K ergs that were donated. So we have about what's it called? Math real quick. 5,500 ergs to play with to distribute to winners, what the community thinks are winners of the Ergo hack. So that's on the community to watch the videos that come out. That's on the Ergo hack projects to actually make videos to entice the community that their project's amazing, and then the community to pay attention and read through and listen and vote on it.
Yeah. Yeah, Ergo Hack have always been a great source of great open source. It's I mean that's what makes Ergo great, and this is what I've been actually promoting to other interested parties and ecosystems that kind of want to come in and participate. And I think that if once we make that happen, that's going to kind of widen things out for us. I think it's going to give us the opportunity to kind of broaden the innovation, like broaden the reach of the innovation that Ergo offers. Actually, and this is something that so there's a little bit of alpha here that I'm going to give. Okay, I don't want to give too much, but because you will find out through the natural course of time, really, really cool things happening that we were able to close and sign just last week on the Zengate side, on the Paul Myers side. But so Luca and Shashir, MG Pie and Magic Pie or whatever, Apple Pie, whatever he calls himself, that young man. By the way, he's pretty like jacked now. I had no idea. He's been like he's been hitting the gym, man. That guy's he can rip you in half, QX.
I bet he could. I bet he could.
Yeah. And Luca can rip you in half with his magic, because he always looks like he's speaking to you from like this magic layer of mystery. And but anyway, those guys came out with a super novel way of how to utilize Ergo tech and for a very unique cross-chain application. That's all I'm going to say. But this is going to open up a lot of doors for us, and this is going to be open source. Is going to allow us to utilize really cool cross-chain tech and vice versa.
When might we see this, Dan?
So later this month, we will talk more about this. But I just wanted to say that there's been some innovation happening in the Ergo ecosystem, thanks to
additional innovation.
Dan. Additional. Yes, we're talking about innovation right now. Ergo Hack, in the spirit of Ergo Hack, I just wanted to throw that out. MPG or MG Pie. I'm sorry, man. I'm just not good at this whole anon thing. You're anons that you like to use like pseudonyms and stuff. I've always been doxxed, so I never get into that thing. So I'm just like, what the hell is the guy's? I know the guy's real given name, but what is his magic made up matrix name? I don't know. Anyway. Those two guys that you know and love came up with an awesome solution in the spirit of Ergo to do some really cool shit. And that's going to be out later this month, and I think there's going to be a lot of excitement around that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I'm sorry. It's just like I know I'm giving like almost zero details on what it is, but like I said, there's a reason for that. But the details are going to be known soon enough. And we're also going to come out with some videos explaining how it works. So it's going to be really cool stuff. And it's going to be open source, obviously. So
is this something that is going to benefit your project, Dan, or is this something on the side that you've let them do?
Well, no.
You have to let your slave employees have some joy once in a while to do something they like, right?
Yeah, I mean, I look. I grace them with my presence. I say hello. I send them fruit baskets. That's enough.
You say GM in the morning in the group chat. Yep.
Oh,
gotcha.
No. I don't go that far. My GMs are like, oh, what the fuck do you want? That's my GM. But yeah. So, well, listen, those guys do just fine without my GMs. Sam's in charge of the GMs. He's the GM manager. He's the GM with the GMs. I am
You're the talent, Dan. You come in when you can grace
yeah,
them,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
better off for it.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm like the Bill Murray, right? You bring me in to do really
Yeah.
cool parts, but I'm also kind of like a reckless drunkard on the side, sort of, but not
Hmm.
really. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah,
cool stuff
gotcha.
happening. Cool stuff happening. This is, of course, yeah, yeah. This was done to be able to expand and kind of broaden the technical stack of Palmyra. But like I said, this is actually real great innovation that these guys came up with, and this is going to benefit the ecosystem, I believe. And like I said, we'll make it open source so the ecosystem can use this stuff. So yeah, yeah, good stuff. It's going to be in addition to the Winter Protocol, which is already being open sourced.
On Ergo.
Yeah, on Ergo and Cardano as well. Like it's basically going to be the EUTXO model can utilize this, right? So it's going to be on Ergo, it's going to be on Cardano, but obviously we're running everything on Ergo. So this is going to be working from Ergo.
Awesome, Dan. I'll have to
So
threaten
that's
MG Pie to tell me early.
yeah. MG Pie, Magic. I like Magic Pies. That's how I remember it. Like it's anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
so
so
yeah, so that's happening, right? So I have been having some conversations with potentially plugging in Ergo for well, some forms of trading, right? So we'll potentially have a way to utilize Ergo on some larger commodity trading mediums, right? And these are going to be large volume mediums. The issue will be actually so what we're looking potentially to do is create a solution for clearing, and I would like to see this on Ergo. The issue it's not just an Ergo issue; it's a blockchain issue. Would be speed, because clearing needs to be there's a certain speed requirement for clearing that most blockchains most decentralized blockchains cannot handle, like really decentralized blockchains.
you're
So
talking
we
about
can
finality?
yeah, finality. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're talking about finality here. Well, probably gonna have to end up doing an Ergo sidechain of some sort. I'm thinking. And a synchronous Ergo side chain that will be able to then sync with the main chain so that we don't have to, go and invest a bunch of money in actual physical infrastructure, so that we can keep it decentralized. We can run like a federated network of nodes on the side chain and then utilize the main chain for synchronous computation.
What do you think is going to compute on it? You thinking ASICs or GPUs or CPUs on this sidechain?
Probably ASICs, probably.
So some like 10-20 second block time with ASICs on a
Yeah.
sidechain?
It just has to be. It just the finality has to be really fast. I mean, that's the thing. For it to be, for it to basically be mainstream viable, like mainstream like trading floor viable, there needs to be really fast finality on it. So that's the main reason. And so, like I said, it's going to be a federated network of nodes that we're going to be using, probably in ASICs. Again, it's super early. It's super early. But we're just starting to think in that direction, and so
But I mean, that's exactly what sidechains are for. I mean,
yeah,
that's the whole point of sidechains. And if people want to join your federated sidechain because it's proven secure, at least, and for what they're doing, then that's their right to be able to join too. So, or if they don't want to because it's more federated, then they don't. But that's
yeah.
exactly what sidechains are for.
I'll call it the UFF, United Federation of Freedmen.
Perfect, perfect. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
something that I know MG Pi is very passionate about. He's very adamant about decreasing finality or increasing the speed that you would feel confident in a transaction not rolling back. So that would be increased block time and trust after those blocks settled. So yeah, that'll be cool to see. And definitely the tech is there and the roadmap is there to be able to accomplish that. So that's really exciting, Dan.
Yeah,
Dan,
yeah. It is. It is. it's really well. Just I'll let me get this out, and then I'll hand it over to you. It's really exciting to be able to truly kind of because we're starting to get more and more opportunities, to really utilize the tech in this, big time production environment, and again, this is not it's not signed, it's not settled, but there's opportunities out there, right? We're talking to like large industries or talking about large industries utilizing the tech, and it's really interesting to kind of to try and figure out, okay, so now that we're actually in the real world, okay, how does it work? How do you make it work? I still want to keep to the first principles. I still want to keep the decentralization as much as possible. I still want to use this technology. How do you make it work without faith? You know what I mean? Just make it work. Just make it work. Make it do what it's supposed to do. Make people money. I mean, that's, in this case. Yeah, so it's just interesting to be in that field. I'm very excited or in that space. So I'm very excited about that, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of utilize this tech for really large scale applications. We'll see. We'll do our best to do that, and if we can't, we'll create solutions that will that will solve the inhibition that will come across. So, back to you, Quality Extreme Sigmanaut.
Well, let me take a quick funny question. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. Augustus Kent wants to know if Dan's been to the bear market. Is that bear on the back of your? Is that a hint?
I've just been to the bear market. I've just come back from the bear market, and boy, are my bear arms.
That's a big bear.
Tired. Yeah. So it has to do with bears, but kind of, right? So when I was in, I think, the 7th grade, I still didn't speak English well because it was just, like a year after I came to the US. So I didn't, I spoke English, but well enough not to be completely clueless, but I didn't really speak it, right? And so I remember I was in social studies class, and we were learning about the Constitution and the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, right? And so First Amendment, Second Amendment, all the amendments that we're learning about. And then we had to remember what they were about, right? So they would tell us, the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, right to bear arms, all the stuff that you learn in 7th grade social studies class. But I forgot what the right to bear arms meant. And I literally imagined that it had to do with having bear arms, arms like a bear. and so it's just, I remember the teacher asking me, okay, Dan, so the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, what does that mean? It's the right for you to have big arms like a bear. I remember explaining it. So it's the right to have big arms like a bear. And it's just, well, kind of oh, okay, but not really. But it was just being nice. It was just being nice to an FOB immigrant kid who couldn't speak English too well. But yeah, so that's the right to bear arms story. And then I guess it kind of ties into my bear market purchase over there. Yeah, over here. Yeah. Yeah, actually, there are 2 bear market purchases back there and here. So, I've been through it all. I've been through it all, man.
Well, which bear represents this bear market? The big bear or the small bear?
Well, there's this bear outside that's as big as my house. That's the one.
That's probably
Yeah. No, this is 2020. This is 2020. That's this is 2021, 2020. This is 2018, 2019 right there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. So where were we talking? We were talking about the Ergo hack, right? I think we covered.
We're talking about the Ergo hack. Yeah.
Just a reminder for everybody to pay attention to what the SIGs are, how the SIGs are going to do that vote for the community fund. That's going to go towards people that the community vote on. And don't be shy to watch the videos. Andy's gonna take them all in and edit them and put them out nicely for you on YouTube. So they should be easily ingestible, and hopefully the project creators will keep them short and easily understandable. We'll see though. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. What else? We have the Sky Harbor raffle passed, which was fantastic. So for those of you that weren't paying attention, Sky Harbor has had some trouble updating its smart contracts to work with some new standards, as well as some other things, and time, money, that kind of thing. So they threw out a raffle, and I think the community donated about more than half of it. And then the Sigmanauts voted to fund about 3,600 ergs to top it off. So it finished strong with 7,200 ergs, which is amazing. So that's going to fund the new smart contracts. And that's also going to be able to let Sky Harbor, Quokka, and team open source the front ends that they have. So the hope after that, though, the idea for Sky Harbor always was that they'd have these smart contracts that were fully functional that anybody could kind of plug into their site. So like Blitz TCG, utilizing the smart contracts on the site where you can buy and swap NFTs right there using those smart contracts. That was the end goal of Sky Harbor all along. Okay, so now by open sourcing the front end, somebody like the SIGs or some other group can then take that front end and say, okay, we'd like to pay a dev to tweak this a little bit and kind of have something here on the front, maybe charge a small UI fee for maintaining that dev to do that. All those options exist now once they finish those smart contracts and open source the front end. So super exciting to see that happen. Super excited for the NFT community to have another option besides Ergo auctions that is up to date with those kind of things. But yeah, super excited. And if you guys missed it, a lot of that is talked about on maybe 2 dev updates ago when I had Quokka on. He went through all of that kind of stuff. So if you're behind, catch up on that. But that's exciting.
Yeah, that's actually.
Then there was another. Sorry,
the Sky Harbor update is really cool because and again, this is just us brainstorming, but we have actually considered using Sky Harbor for the trading floor. We're still trying to figure out exactly what to do, but there is thought being put into using that as the trading floor for the Palmyra trading.
Oh, very cool. Dang. Yeah, super versatile. Plug it in anywhere. Should be great. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, the Rosen Keygen ceremony was this week for Bitcoin. That was a lot of fun. Very well. It was very well organized. People say, one of the questions was, how the hell are you going to get 50 guards together to do Keygen ceremonies as we jump chains? Yeah, that's a fair question, but I will say that for now, the 10 guards that are there that we're doing it with, plus whether it's 13, maybe 13 guards, did a great job. Fantastic. Everybody was there on time for the designated time. Everybody ran the proper code, and we were done after we started. We allocated 2 hours. I want to say, if my memory is serving correctly, after everything was said and done, it was definitely under an hour. There were a couple like, "Hey, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Come on, you gotta shut your code down and restart it." And then I won't mention any names, but they do work at Spectrum. But yeah, it was.
They work at Spectrum.
It was a good
on the Spectrum.
Correct. Well, I mean, it's Ergo, so we're all on the Spectrum band.
Yeah, I thought I was. Yeah, that thought went through my mind as soon as I said it. I'm like, oh yeah, actually, never mind. Never mind.
But it worked. It worked really well. It went through. Ceremony was done, and hopefully we'll have some updated watchers soon. I'll try to make a video if it's very complicated. If it's more than just like a git pull, Docker down, Docker up kind of thing, I'll make a video. But yeah, super fun, super exciting too. Yeah, what else? I just spoke with some. Hopefully this will bind him into an agreement. But I just spoke with Nemo. And He agreed that he would look at a GitHub that we would put together for blacklist tokens and see if he could integrate it into Nautilus. So that means when you're in Nautilus, you can click a little button that says "Don't show me blacklist tokens," and it'll read from the GitHub, which is a community-run GitHub that anybody can submit push and pulls to, or pulls to, and it'll blacklist tokens. So that'll stop like the BBC token from showing up in your kid's wallet or that kind, or your wife's wallet, or
Hey,
wherever you don't
Nemo,
want that kind of thing.
Nemo, I
Oh
use
no, no, no,
Nautilus.
no. Yeah, all right, go on. Yeah,
I
yeah. I
use
thought you were going to shame
Nautilus.
Nemo.
I'm not gonna. Well, maybe a little bit. I want my freaking transaction history, man. I don't know what I said, where I said stuff to.
You just click your address and take it right to Explorer, Dan. Look at it there.
Yeah, but like it gives you the little window after you send the erg, and you can view it on the Explorer. But if you close that window, it's like you can't. It's gone after that. It's gone bye bye. I mean, am I missing something?
No, no, you can, if you want a friendly view of that, what I would suggest people to do is use Aco's Ergo Explorer. And you set that in your Explorer link up top in the settings in Nautilus.
I'm
And
lazy.
then when you
I'm
get it,
lazy. I just want it to be in Nautilus. I just want it to be like have like a page
yeah,
there, transactions, click, bam. Because I
that's
use
yeah,
Nautilus,
it wouldn't be hard to
and like
do.
once in a while, Nautilus will like just tell me, okay, restore me from the beginning because there was an update. But I still use it. But that's like the only thing, I send my erg from one place to another, and then I'm just like, okay. I close the Explorer, so now I can't see it. So now, holy shit, man. Hopefully, I didn't send it into oblivion.
Yeah, it could help with a transaction list. Maybe that's something that he'll throw in there. Because it's not very hard to do, that's for sure. But yeah, what I was saying is for people who don't mind clicking through their address and going to Explorer, use Aco's Ergo Explorer. It's got a really nice design on the bottom where it lists all your recent transactions that you can click through. It shows in, out. It has an address book as well that shows you like it's from a mining pool, or it's from like Spectrum, or it's from some other smart contract that they've done the address book for. So that's a really easy way to do it too. But yeah, I agree. Maybe Nemo's asked for some help with the Abyss. What's it called? No, yeah, the Nautilus Abyss, which is like the test dev version of Nautilus. So we'll see if it's in there, or if not. Otherwise, we can offer suggestions to him. But yeah, that does make sense, Dan.
Yeah. And I just kind of wanted to thank I see a nice comment up here from Maverick BG. We want to thank Dan for his work in the Ergo ecosystem because I think most people don't appreciate it. I thank you very much. It's a pleasure and an honor. I do think quite a few people do appreciate it. So I don't feel unappreciated. So I just wanted to
I
kind of throw
appreciate
that
it,
out.
Dan.
Well,
Every day,
okay.
Dan.
Yeah, I know you do.
You people who count. I gotcha. I gotcha.
You better appreciate it, all right? If you want to stay at the Zengate corporate apartment in Eastern Osaka.
That's right.
Yeah.
I told Dan I'm coming to Japan next year with my wife. So we want to stay in one of those pod hotels that you just check in and you slide into a pod, and then
You don't
the
want
rest
to
of the
stay.
time we want to come to
You don't want to
Janstown.
stay in a pod hotel. You don't want.
Why
Trust
not?
me. Trust me. You don't want to stay in a pod
It's
hotel.
not as glamorous or fun as it looks.
Okay, like imagine a coffin, but with a TV.
Sounds like fun to me, actually. Nobody's going to bug you. It's kind of like soundproof. Fantastic.
That's what they
I'll
make
put that
doors. That's what they make doors and quality structured windows for. You don't have to be inside a coffin for that. But anyway, yes, I just wanted to thank Maverick for that comment. Like I said, it's an honor and a privilege to work in the Ergo ecosystem. It's been a growing experience for me as well. And of course, it'll continue being a growing experience for me. I'm not going anywhere. And yeah, like I said, just one thing. I want to say that I appreciate you guys, all you guys, out there supporting me, supporting us, and yeah, thank you. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, let's see. Here's so when you come out here, let's see. You want to do this? Dan versus QX in a contest to see who gets claustrophobia in small places more. Now, I didn't know you can get claustrophobia not in small places, but maybe that's a thing. Can I get just claustrophobia, like just random spasms of claustrophobia, like like is there phantom claustrophobia out there? I don't know.
Dan, I say that we, when I come to Japan, we'll rent a single-use pod and we'll both stay in it and we'll see who leaves first. That'll be a good competition.
That's an. I'll leave first. I'll leave so fast. I will leave so fast I wouldn't even go in. That's how fast I'll leave. Okay, you can have it. I'm not staying in any freaking pods with you, man. That's weird on many levels. They're just not right. Anyway, all right. Let's get to some nice questions. I mean, do you have anything else for the community, or you want to get some questions?
Let me think. BJ, I wrote down some stuff. Oh yeah, some miners have noticed that the table has grown past 4 GB or near 4 GB for mining. So that means 4 gig cards are going to see a huge reduction in hash. I think somebody said theirs went from 60 mega hash to 20 mega hash. So that happens. That's memory hardening. That's essentially every 3 months the table updates. So that's the beauty of the beast, essentially, to stop, to keep up with times and technology. So you don't have a 2 GB memory table after cards are like 30 GB and that kind of thing. So yeah, memory hardening is a thing. That's how it works. 3 GB cards were taken out a year and a half ago. So it steps up as it steps up. So just for miners to be aware of that, if you see a reduction in hash, that's most likely what you're experiencing if you're running a bunch of 4 GB cards.
All right. So don't run a bunch of 4 GB cards unless you want. Actually, no, you can run 4 GB cards. I don't care. I don't care. Thanks for making it weird, QX, for people who run 4 GB cards.
I know. I'm so sorry, guys.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
So sorry.
You know what? Actually, Luke has made it even like he has upped the game here. So he's going to put 10,000 erg on it now. For 10,000 erg, now.
Oof! I'll stay there for a couple months for 10,000 erg. I can work from there. Great.
Yeah. I forget you're a.
I can hermit. I love hermiting. It's great when I don't have to talk to people.
Yeah, you're a small person, aren't you? Small and wide in the neck. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see when we get there.
Just the thought of that is kind of revolting, but 10,000 erg is quite a bit. So but we'll see. We'll see.
Let's start at the top, Dan. You got a tough question from Hoxie Dex up at the top.
We do. Okay. That's Husky, not Hoxie.
Well, it was a typo out of my mouth.
Yeah, typo out of your mouth means whatever. Anyway.
All right, I clicked on it. That means you got to answer it.
So basically, here's what's going on. We are in contact with Crypto Crow. I am actually saving that conversation for next week when we actually have to discuss our probably I think it's going to happen next week. We're going to discuss potentially working with him, like I said, on the Palmyra launch, on the Palm token launch. At that point, I will have that conversation so that we can we might be able to bring all these things together, because obviously Palmyra heavily utilizes Ergo, and so that would actually be a conversation to put in there, just to kind of like say, okay, and look, so since it's Ergo, can we get you to do more Ergo stuff? So I just figured that it would make more sense to combine the conversations, and to interest Crypto Crow in kind of wider participation, because also I think he'll dig what's happening here, and I think it's just going to be more it's going to have more oomph to it. Anyway, all right, let's go to the next one.
We got one from Wombo about Zengate. How any challenges? Why don't we take that one? I put it up there
Yeah.
for
All
you.
right. So, how was your experience so far being the CEO of Zengate, challenges, etc.? So, hmm. So, I know it's just kind of a well, no duh type of thing, but um, the biggest challenge is growing and keep growing. That's the biggest. That's always your biggest challenge as a CEO. You always have to be better. You always have to keep stepping up and stepping up and stepping up, because if you don't, somebody else needs to, right, in the company. And if somebody else needs to, you're not doing your job. And so for me, I mean, there were rough patches. There were times I mean, I'm not saying that I'm like, some guru CEO. I mean, yeah, I fucked up like a few times, and the guys picked up the slack for me. I got back on track and I kept going, and it's obviously gotten way, way better now. And I'm on my thing. But it's a constant, it's like constant growing pains, right? That you have to get used to and you have to like look for, because if you're not growing, you're dying. And as a CEO, I mean, that's just the thing. If you're not growing, you're dying as a CEO. I don't believe there's such thing as a fully grown CEO. You can have a great CEO. You can have somebody who's like, you know, the best in the world, but that person will still want to grow. That person's not going to say is like, that's enough. That's all I need. So that's been the biggest thing, and to really, kind of going from just kind of like the guy who's out there doing stuff, the mover and shaker that I've always done. I just always have been out there like, making deals, making things happen, business development, just putting the pieces together, Um, but there is a difference between putting the pieces together and kind of when you put the pieces together, taking that thing to the next level. Leading teams, making tough decisions. There are decisions that had to be made. I mean, I work with many friends, but I always have. But if you choose to do that, you also have to be able to kind of separate friendship from business, and you have to make
That's really tough to
decisions
do. Yeah.
that, yeah, and you have to make decisions, and I had to make a few decisions where, as a friend, my heart was breaking, but as a CEO, that's what needs to be done for the business. And yeah, that's also tough. It's a tough thing because we're all human, right? And again, if you're doing a startup, I mean, chances are really good you're going to be doing a startup with friends that come in to do things because you share the same vision, and you kind of grow in the same in the same direction, and then you bring in more people that and they're also your friends, just to kind of to get that crew going. And it's not necessarily like, oh, well, I'm not going to work with this person anymore. No, it's not like that. But it's more like, you're thinking, okay, so I thought that this person can do this, and you're rooting for them as a friend. Do it, do it, do it, do it. But then as the CEO, you say, no, there's a threshold. And if they can't do the job, you have to find a different fit for them. And I had to do it a few times in the past. And it's just not easy. It's not easy, but it is, like I said, it's a skill that you have to develop. It's a muscle you have to develop, where it's like, when you take off your friend hat and put your CEO hat on, you can't still have the friend hat in your hand. It has to just be like over there, right? And it's almost like, it's this like, never ending like battle inside your mind. It's just like I said, from friend's side, you're rooting for this person. You're like, come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. From the business side, you say, I have to face the fact that this person needs to do this instead of that. So yeah, that's never easy. That's never easy. And even if it's not a friend, right? If it's just somebody that you like, right? It doesn't have to be a friend. It can just be somebody who maybe you hired, right? You hired and you had great hopes and expectations for them. And you, again, if you're a positive person, you always kind of root for the people, right? And you say, yeah, I want this person to succeed. And you try to set them up for success. And then you almost start to question yourself, did I set them up for success? You know, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, did I set them up for success? And sometimes, no, you didn't. And that's your fault as an executive. But sometimes you did, and you just have to face the fact that the only real fault of yours is kind of mislabeling them, right? Misgauging them. That you should have known, or how can you know in the future that this is not the type of person you need for this type of job? And how in the future, as an executive, can you then have a filter, a more gritty filter, to be able to get the right people in the right places, because that's what the business needs. Yeah. So yeah, that's that is what it is.
Yeah, empathy is not a great trait for a CEO to have, that's for sure. It's very difficult to manage those two things. I have a team of 6 here, and they're all around my age, some older, some no, they're all a little older than me. And it's a really hard duality to do there, because we hang out outside of work. We have everybody on my team plays an instrument, so we actually are asked to play for graduation, a small band. So we hang out there when we practice and drink beers and eat pizza, and it's I feel for you, Dan. It's a really tough thing to have to manage, especially when you're an empathetic person like yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, but you just have to develop that muscle. Like I said, it has to be, you have to, like, for you to do your first job as a CEO is to the business. Is this good for the business? Is this good for the company? And that's what you always have to think. That's always your litmus test. Is my action good for the company? Because that is your duty as a CEO, to do things that are good for the company. And if you're not doing it, you're failing as a CEO. Anyway, let's oh, okay. So yeah, anyone as Dan, what he's going to spend his mid-year raffle bonus on?
Did you see the raffle?
Yeah, I did see the raffle. Magic Pie has showed me. He showed me the raffle.
2,200 ergs. What would you do with 2,200 ergs, Dan?
Well, now there's like 20.
And why would you send it to me?
Because I was drugged and you're holding my cat hostage. I don't know. You know what? Yeah, you know what, guys? I mean, look, if it does happen, I will spend it on the ecosystem. If this does happen, I would like to have a Dan Ergo hack pick that will get those ergs.
You could also dump it on meme tokens, Dan.
I could, but I won't. No, but seriously, it's yeah. If this does happen, I know it might be kind of in a way satirical. But if this does happen, if somebody decides to fund that, I would like to use that for the ecosystem. And so whatever is in there, I will put into the next Ergo hack.
Awesome. That's great, Dan.
All righty. Okay. Oh, yeah. And tacos. And tacos. Yep. All right. Oh, actually, this is a good question for you. So would you be able to add to what I said? I guess. Your thoughts, experience with taking a leading role within SIGs, but SIGs not having a CEO. Now, are you the CEO of the SIGs?
Not talk about that. All right. Well, we're being honest here. So it's extremely difficult to organize, and I don't consider myself a leader of the SIGs. I consider myself somebody in the SIGs who has the bandwidth and ability to try to push things forward and motivate people and find people that may be interested in something and get them excited about something and onto it. Hopefully, people aren't on to me about that. So, for example, like. We're doing the SIGs mining pool, and we saw somebody in chat was like, "Hey, there's a guy on Twitter asking about setting up a mining pool," and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" So we reached out to him, talked to him, and brought him, got him interested, and that's Mark the Shark. So here's Mark co-running the SIGs mining pool with me, which is something that I couldn't do on my own for bandwidth reasons and tech reasons, I'm sure. So that kind of stuff is what I try to aim for. I try to find people that, maybe I see my job as trying to kickstart good ideas, get some momentum with them, and Wombo says it's a safe space. Kickstart ideas. So I'm fairly good at initiating something and getting it going, and having the motivation and the willpower to do that and push it through. And then I like to see people that come in after that and express interest, and then I try to empower them to take over and take ownership of it. That's what I do here at work as well. I don't have time to sit and handhold an employee's hand. In the performance dialogues we just had with my team this year, that's one of the main points that I brought up is, I thank them and let them know that I notice that, they don't need handholding, that I'd like them to take ownership of their role, and I want them to make decisions, and I want them to do it. And nobody has time for that. I can't be a micromanaging, leader there, or at work here at least, for that kind of thing. It makes my job ineffective. So I take that to the crypto space as well, where I'd like to try to be motivated enough to start up projects, see other motivated people, and if they are really truly adamant and believe in that project, then I want to try to empower them as much as I can by either helping them out with my time and passing that off to them, or else, like things that don't need my help. Like I consistently try to help out Cyberverse by just market buying their tokens random times during every other week or so. Those kind of things. So I try to support projects. So that's my goal here in Ergo. I try not to consider myself a leader at all, because I could go away tomorrow and it wouldn't matter. People would still pick up the slack and do what I was doing, or do that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's how I see my role.
Sometimes I love working in, I love working in decentralized ecosystems, but sometimes it feels like herding cats.
And decentralized, you mean?
Yeah, I love working in decentralized ecosystems, but sometimes getting stuff done in the decentralized ecosystem is like herding cats.
It is. It's very difficult. Like the discussion we had in the SIGs this morning, I put out that question about how do we manage the funds, for Ergo Hack for the community awards. And I put out, I just like to, sometimes I don't put out a thing. If I want to steer something, then I'll put out options just to kind of focus the conversations. But most of the time, I just want to ask a question because I don't want to try to influence it. But today I tried to influence it by putting a list of things, and people were fairly divided, and that's where the conversation stopped. So if we just let it stop at that, then it's dead. But, I got to dust it off, pick it up again, see who's, why people are adamant about one or the other, and then try to go forward from there. Most of the time people have strong opinions, but I found in the SIGs that, there's good reasons and good reasoning ability in everybody, and they can pretty much agree on any of the solutions that I brought forward if they make sense. Or, that's the one thing that you have to be, aware of, is that it's really easy to voice your opinion on chat and text. And for somebody viewing on the outside, it may seem like, oh shit, this person's never going to budge. This person, is adamant about this. But you got to take it as, you ask for an opinion, you take it. And if everybody's being reasonable, then you can have a discussion about it and move forward from there. Don't be like, oh, nobody liked my thought or ideas, so I'm just going to stop. Yeah, that's you're taking it too much to heart for those kind of things. You just got to be careful. consider their approaches to their beliefs and what they want to see done as a suggestion, just as you suggested something to chat, and then start making discussions based on those suggestions. So that would be my take on that kind of thing, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a good take. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. So here's a question about, and we hear this quite a bit about advertising. So I read a post on Ergo Reddit this morning that a lithium getting on an X space with Mario Newfall. Have you all made attempts to be on major X spaces or contacted YouTube channels like Altcoin Daily? So here's the deal with that. It's the deal is money. It costs a lot of money to get on there. These like Altcoin Daily and all these guys. I mean, sometimes it's in the tens of thousands of dollars per space, or for like a couple of spaces or whatever. Sometimes they'll just invite you because you're news, right? You gotta you can bring the traffic because you have something that's happened that you're involved in that people are just excited about, so you'll bring them traffic. But if you want them to, if you're coming to them and they're not coming to you, then it's money and it's not cheap. Lithium, I'm pretty sure, they are in a much better financial situation than the Ergo Foundation and the SIGs are right now. So they can afford to put out some like 10, 20, $30,000, $40,000 to be in a few really big spaces, and to have a few big sponsorships. And I mean, it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it is tens of thousands of dollars that it takes. Yeah, it's that, I mean, that is what it is. It's not, I'm pretty sure it's not because there's something so super newsworthy. Lithium is a great ecosystem. Don't get me wrong. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff happening. But yeah, it's basically, I'm pretty certain is because they bought a sponsorship. So I mean, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
It's and as the ecosystem, as we come into the bull, and the ergs are worth more, and so we can convince these guys like, hey guys, this is good money for you. Then yeah, it's good, but it's not like I said, it's not because they just love that one, right? It's not. I'm 99.9% sure it is literally just a sponsorship. So it's money.
Yeah, look at the recent snake sponsorship by what's his name? It starts with a W.
Max
Remember.
Max Macher.
Yeah, Max Mahar. That's an upside down W, I guess, an M.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that I may know how much that has costed, and that is not something that the SIGs could cover, that kind of sponsorship. So that stuff is very, very expensive for that. Yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to do with the dev updates is I'm trying to, I use the dev update platform as a way to, even if they don't answer, as a way to get ergos in people's mind. I've written people like Michael Saylor, those kind of people on Twitter. Say I know, but the pitch I have is like, hey, it's QX from Ergo. We do a dev update every week, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Here's a YouTube channel for that. I'd love to have you on to chat about this recent thing that you just said on the media. So I've done that with maybe 15, 20 people, the big names on Twitter. And half of that goal is just to put Ergo in front of their face. The other half is that maybe someday they'll say yes. But we also have other people that are like-minded and that we get on. We just had Bullish Dumpling on last week. That was a really good interview, I felt. And and she had a good retweet afterwards. And let's see if we have it here. Yeah, so here we go. So she made a comment on the retweet that she did, or quote tweet, and she said, and when people inevitably get fed up with the status quo of the industry and current product offerings, they'll start searching for solid solutions. That's the time for quality products to shine. She's very right in that aspect. I mean, Ergo's going to be here. Ergo's going to continue to grow and flourish and make innovative things, and we'll be here for you know for when that happens for sure, and before then. And going to the blockchain conference that I went to really opened my eyes, and seeing how these guys operate, seeing how Polkadot operates, how Avalanche, how these Ethereum layers operate. It's really eye-opening that Ergo is something different and trying to accomplish something vastly different than what these kind of fiat systems are doing. And it made me think. I don't know if I put this on Twitter, or maybe I was talking to somebody else about it, but those things are not what it goes back to Kushti's quote of saying, like, Ethereum, those kind of things, Bitcoin's digital gold, Ergo is an evolution of that, and everything else is just who knows whatever his quote was there. So you got to really dig deep into that and think, okay, so that made me think that all these projects like Ethereum, like Avalanche, like Caspa, these things are essentially fiat 2.0. This is digital fiat, okay? And it helps in my mind to think of them like that, because these are going to exist in the same market space as Ergo. Ergo is something different. Ergo is an evolution of Bitcoin that puts programmability and actual use cases and ways to utilize tooling and financial tools into that kind of market. Whereas, yeah, we're always going to have the Ethereums that are just the same shit, just digitally, that the fiat systems are. So that's one way that I reconcile, or at least understand, that we're not necessarily in competition with them, because it's be like saying that, I don't know, Bitcoin's in competition with fiat, but I guess it is. But you get the point. It helps me to think that those kind of things are just fiat 2.0, honestly.
All right. One last question, and I saw Sam is here. God, Sam, go away, go to bed. I thought you were sick, but we got a question from Bobcat that Sam already answered in the comments, but we're gonna answer it here anyway. Will Ergo have a spot at Rare Evo? Yes, Ergo will. As Sam pointed out in the comments here, that Ergo, the SIGs are going to be there. Booth has been paid, and it is.
That's it. Who paid the booth, Dan? It wasn't me. Did Sam front the money for us? Thank you, Sam.
I don't know. Somebody paid. Somebody paid. If it's somebody who I think it is, they're gonna pay for their insolence.
They're in trouble.
Yeah.
So I took the Rare Evo money. It was like $2,500. Oh, Sam says pay me back. Thanks, Sam. I put that in duck pools to earn some interest until I had to pay it. But I appreciate you paying in advance, Sam. The checks in the mail, Sam.
QX. That's messed up, QX.
No, it's for the Sigmanauts. It's not like I'm going to take that money.
Listen. Okay, if it pays out a little extra, we'll use it to get you a new neck.
We'll tip Sam. Sam can charge us interest
now,
as long as it's lower than duck pools.
Aside from the SIGs, we got Rosen that's going to be at Rare Evo. We're going to be, well, not us. Paul McConomy is going to be at Rare Evo. So there's going to be a kind of a Ergo Island again at Rare Evo. And so, yeah, those of you who are able to join, please do. It's going to be a good time. QX is going to, do some tricks. He's going to juggle. He's going to,
maybe I'll
bounce a ball with his nose, and he's going to go arf, 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 and then do stuff for fish and stuff. It's okay. Fine. You're not a seal. Fine. You won't do that stuff. At least not when you're sober.
Sure.
Anyway,
What else?
And so any Ergo meetups in Asia in 2024? I'd love to. I mean, I'd love to have one in Japan. There is a blockchain conference in Tokyo. I'm sorry, in Kyoto, coming up in the summer. The IBS. I think it's I suck at acronyms. I think it's IBS. I think it's the IBS. Anyway, Sam, what is it called? Tell me in the comments. Is it IBS? Anyway, yeah. So if there is a way for us to do an Ergo event, IVS. Yes, thank you. IVS. I suck at acronyms. IVS in Kyoto. I would love to have an Ergo event or at least an Ergo kind of group happening there. If not, there are events in Singapore. We got Token 2049 coming up in Singapore in September, which I will be at. So maybe we can get something there. Yeah, and of course, we will have our Ergo devs in town around that time, around IVS
MG
Kyoto.
Pi and LDGT, you're going to send them out there?
Yeah. Well, they're coming out here, and they think they're gonna see Japan, but they're just gonna be like working in the dark pits of the Zengate office.
Oh, wow, that's nice of you. I asked them if you were going to buy them a sleeper booth for the plane ride over. They said you were probably just going to throw them in economy.
QX, I think we're going to bring you out here by sea. You're going to be
put me on a freighter.
Yeah. I'm gonna put you. Yeah, we're gonna call some freight forwarders and ship you like that in a container. Yeah, that's how you're getting to Japan.
Yeah,
anyway.
As Jemai just said in chat, they'll show up at the Zengate offices, and in the closet will be 2 blow-up mattresses. Here's your hotel, MG.
Two blow-up mattresses. God, have you how the Klingons sleep? That's how our devs sleep. We
on a hard floor.
We keep a Klingon school of discipline. Anyway, so yeah. I want to make it happen. There are going to be some opportunities. So yeah, let's talk. All right. Anyway, I think it's a good place to leave it off for this week. We had some fun. Well, at least I did. I don't know about you, QX. You look like you're always having fun.
I always have fun.
Not.
Always have fun with you, Dan.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I like the sound of that. Anyway. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for joining this week. Good. Thank you for participating. Thanks for all the questions. Next week, same time, same channel. Same place on the interwebs. And until then, this is your man Dan from Japan with QX to his stage, right, left, whatever, to over stage there, signing off.
Ciao, everybody.